Welcome Primary 4. Miss Hiba Ahmed is with you. Today we will start in Concept 3, Unit 2, and we will take Lesson 1. This concept is talking about the speed. Look at the following pictures. Which one of them has more speed? To calculate the speed and know which one is faster, we must know two things about the object: distance and time. So, to calculate the speed of any object, we must know the distance and time. What is the meaning of distance and time? If I moved from this point to this point, so that's my distance. So distance is the distance that the object traveled. But the time is the time taken by the object to travel this distance. Like I finished a distance in, for example, 1 second. So that's the time. Okay? The distance is measured by kilometer or meter. Kilometer for big distance and meters for small distance. But the time is measured by hours or seconds. Hours for a long time and seconds for a short time. So the speed. So to calculate the speed, we must know the distance and the time of the object, right? So what is the unit of the speed? Is kilometer per hour or meter per second. If I covered a large distance, so I will use kilometer per hour to calculate the speed. But if I covered a small distance, so I will use meter per second to calculate the speed. Let's talk about the fastest animal on the land, which is the cheetah. Cheetah is faster animal on the land and fastest than the human. Okay, can you see these pictures? We have here cheetah, train, and car. We will know which one of them is faster and has more speed. How we can know this? By knowing distance and time. So what is the distance that all of them finished? It's 96.5 kilometers. So all of them can finish 96.5 kilometers in how many time? The cheetah can finish this distance in 3 seconds, and the train in 37 seconds, and the car in more than 4 seconds. So, which one is faster? The faster one, or the object that has more speed, is that finished a long distance in a short time. So, which one of them finished a long distance in a short time? Yes, it's the cheetah. So the cheetah finished its distance in 3 seconds only, but the train in 37 and the car more than 4 seconds. So the cheetah is the fastest one of them, or the one of them that has more speed. Why? Because it covers the distance, the same distance, in small time. Okay? Okay. So why the cheetah is the speed of the cheetah is faster than any other animals? Why? To help it to survive as a predator. What is the meaning of predator? Predator is animals that attack the other animals and eat them. Let's know the structure adaptation of the cheetah in its speed, or what is the structure adaptation of the cheetah to make this animal the fastest animal on the land. Let's start with its head. Cheetah's head is low to the shoulder. As you can see in this picture, he put his head between his two shoulders. Why? To decrease the air resistance or the friction force. What is the meaning of that? Air resistance is the type of the friction force when the object touches the air or rub with the air. When the cheetah starts to run, its head touching what? The air, or rubbing with the air. So between its head and the air, there is a friction force. This type of the friction force is called air resistance. So when any object touching the air or rubbing the air, So between them there is air resistance, which is a type of the friction force. Let's understand how when the cheetah put its head low to its shoulder that decrease the friction force. In this picture we have the cheetah and this animal. The cheetah here put his head between the two shoulders, okay, but this animal doesn't do this. Let's start with this animal. Okay, look at his head. All this is his head, okay? So the area of the head that touches the air here is big or small? It's big, comparing with the mean cheetah. So here there is the big area touching big amount of air. So the friction force here will be bigger or smaller? Bigger, right? But here, the cheetah, when he blew his head between its shoulders, so the area of the head that touching the air is smaller, right? So here, the area of the head that touching the air is bigger, so we have here bigger friction force. But here in the cheetah, he put his head between its shoulders or below to his shoulders, so the area of the head that touching the air is smaller, so we have here smaller friction force or air resistance. And you remember that the friction force make the object slow down or stop, so it's opposite for moving. So to move fast we must decrease the friction force. And when the cheetah blew its head between its shoulder, so the friction force decreased and it makes the cheetah move faster. The second adaptation is in the nose. Can you see it has a big or a large openings of the nose? Can you see that's the skull of the cheetah? It has a large opening. Why? To breathe more air. Why? When he breathes more air, so a lot of oxygen enters in its body and the energy is produced. We take in the respiratory system that the respiration it's the process by the body gets the what energy. So by entering the oxygen inside our body produce energy. So here the cheetah has a big openings in his nose to allow the air to get in large amounts to its body, so the oxygen will give him more energy and he can move faster. Let's go to the adaptation number 3, which is the heart. The heart of the cheetah is oversized or very large and powerful or strong. So it has a big heart and strong heart or powerful to pump the blood faster, so he can give the body each part of its body the energy so it can move fast. Number 4, the claws. That's the claw of the cheetah. This claw, the cheetah stick it into the ground to push the cheetah more so he can increase its speed. So the claws of the cheetah stick into the ground to push off the ground and make it go faster. Number 5, the spine or the backbone. Do you remember the backbone from the nervous system? Yes. The backbone of the cheetah, it's like a spring. Do you remember the spring? Yes. The spring contains elastic potential energy. Its backbone, it's like the spring. He compressed his body, okay? This compression make the cheetah make the body of the cheetah push forward so he can move fast. Like the trampoline. When you jump and push the trampoline down, it will push you up, right? The same idea. Here, its spine or its backbone, it's like the spring, okay? When he compressed his body like this, so it will give him a large push forward. So, like this. So, compress, that meaning that his body will push forward. Okay? So, the spine and the backbone, it's like a spring. Why? To give him more push. And more push meaning more speed. Like this. Its body compress and it make it push forward. What make it like this? That his spine or his backbone, it's like a spring. Number 6, its body. The cheetah's body is light, it has a light weight. It's not heavy, so its speed will be faster. Okay? The male weight is about from 41 to 45 kilogram. So it's the cheetah's body. It's not heavy. It's light. So it will help him to move faster. Like this. Okay, can you see? Its body compressed. This compressed make its body push forward. Why? Because the spine contain, or the spine, it's like the spring. Let's go to another point and let's know which one is faster or has more speed. Do you remember? The one is faster or has more speed, it's the one that finished the distance in the smallest time. Okay? Okay. And we know that to know or to calculate the speed, we must know what? Distance and time. We have here runner, horse, car, and rocket. All of them moves for 4 minutes. Okay? But the runner finished 1.5 kilometers in 4 minutes. The horse finished 3 kilometers in 4 minutes. The car finished 6 kilometers in 4 minutes. And the rocket finished 400 kilometers in 4 minutes. So, all of them move in 4 minutes. That's the time that they take. Okay, and that's the distance. Which one is the faster? Right, the rocket. Why? Because the rocket finished 400 kilometers in 4 minutes. Right? So, it finished a large distance in the same time. The runner just finished 1.5 kilometers in the same 4 minutes that the rocket finished inside it 400 kilometers. And also, the horse just finished 3 kilometers in 4 minutes, and that's the same time that the rocket finished 400 kilometers. So, the rocket is the faster object here. Why? Because it's take a large or finished a large distance in the same amount of time. Thank you for listening. Miss Ahmed was with you.